Alright. MK 316 Wheeljack, there it is. 1 month ago. And he beat me by a month. Damn it. Let's try Jobby. Jobby the Hong Studio Series Wheeljack. Prime versus Prime. 5 months? What do you mean 5 months ago? Studio Series Wheeljack, there we go. How long has this been out? And go. First Prime, 5 months. 1 month. 4 months. 3 months. 1 month. 1 month. 2 months. 4 weeks. Oh, thank God. Still reviewing it.
Hey everybody, my friends call me Envy. Thank you for clicking on my first video ever. Today we'll be taking a look at the Studio Series Deluxe class Wheeljack from Bumblebee. Best 5 minutes of my life, better than the first time I had sex. Before we get into the review, we're going to take a look at the box real quick. Here's the front, here's the side, here's the other side, there's the back. If you want to read the back, pause it there. I'm not going to read it for you. Goodbye. Here's the figure sexy. Alright, taking a closer look at this figure, let's just zoom in on that head. Ooh. Move this up a bit. Get in closer. There we go. This head has some of the best sculpted detail that I've ever seen on a Transformer. That mouth plate with all those separate lines and the ear flaps with all the what look like grill detail in it. Moving it around to the back of the head with more panel detail there and these ridges and crests, moving to the top of it, getting more panel detail within these ridges and crests. That's just top work, Hasbro. So, getting into the painting on the head, the eyes are painted in very, very well, as are the little ear flappies right here. And the mouth plate is painted a nice bright silver color, which I think follows up into the middle of the head crest right here, but I can't really tell because of the lighting. It definitely looks like it though. Moving down to the chest, we got some more really, really nice and clean paintwork and line details. Clean Autobot symbol. I don't know how they do it. I really don't. But like, look at all of this detail. The only thing that I could say negative about this figure is that it really needs like some dry brushing or a black wash to really bring those details like the panel lines out. Or maybe like somebody can go in there with like a Gundam marker and trick out all those panel lines. The bottom of the feet, hollow. It's got a couple of ports in it that I don't really know the use for. And then going around to the back of it, not really all that much to see. You got his wheels down here. His wheels have a really nice little texture on them, some basic paint. But overall, sculpting and paint work on this guy is just... Zooming back out real quick. Move the camera back down. Alright, we're going to head on into articulation now. Starting off with the head. The head is on a post that leads to a ball joint going up into the head. Allows you to do a full 360-degree twist. Allows you to look up that far. Turn you around here. And down that far. which isn't the greatest, but it's something. And then that far to one side and that far to the other. Head articulation's alright. Moving on to the shoulders. Oh, you got another peg leading into a ball joint at the shoulder, which allows you to move it up that far and spin it a full 360 degrees, which is nice. And the little flappy thing here that's connected to the back is just connected with a post. You can spin it as far as it needs to go. I like keeping mine flared out to about there-ish, maybe a little wider of an angle. Moving on down to the bicep, you got a swivel at the bicep, which can go all the way around, no transforming parts impeding it, unless you fold the wing all the way down. Down to the elbow, you got a double jointed elbow, goes all the way up and probably a little back, which is not supposed to happen, but maybe you might need Ratchet to look at you, Jackie. Alright, and then nothing here at the wrists. The wrists. What is a wrist? Which is a damn shame too, because if this had wrist articulation, this figure would be perfect. I mean, even the minor gripes that I do have about this figure wouldn't mean anything if it had wrist articulation. Anyway, moving on down to the waist, you have a waist swivel here from the transformation. And this is one of the only parts that I have, or one of the only complaints that I have with this figure. These hips, they're just way too loose. I can't do anything with them. Like, he stands all right by himself. Put those together, and I mean, it doesn't really want to do it on camera. Floppy. It doesn't really want to show it on camera, but like, anytime you try and move them, you're struggling with the hips and him wanting to try and walk away from under you, which isn't a big deal. They're just on ball joints, so you should be able to just pull them off, stick some like super glue or whatever in there and tighten up the hips. But like, out of the box, the hips being this loose are just, it's just not cool. Anyway, so move the arm up, leg kicks all the way up there, good kick, and back that far all the way. You got a really, really coolly sculpted thigh swivel there, which is really neat. I like how it comes up and over, the sculpt on the leg comes up and over the thigh swivel to cover it. That's a really cool detail. You don't get much out of it. You can get it to about there. And the leg comes up, single bend at the leg, about 90. And then for foot articulation, it can go up that far, down that far, and I can't feel any. It looks like it would be able to. Hold on, let's see if we can't. Oh, I'm really fighting this. I probably shouldn't be. There we go. So yeah, it's just on a shift right here. So if you move it forward a bit, you should be able to get some ankle pivot out of there. But overall posability on this guy is really, really good, aside from the loose hips. You can get him into some really cool action poses if you wanted to. And he would look really cool in them. Like, just first thing off the top of my head. But you can't really have action poses if you don't have a weapon. Honestly, when you pose him and you get the gun in the hand, just anything you do with him looks awesome. Like, so it fits into his hand really snugly. It won't come out unless you try pulling on it really hard or do what I do and just swivel. Set the figure aside. Take a look at this awesome looking rifle. Once again, the sculpt work that is on this gun is just amazing. I love all the little ridges over here and the panel lines and this little bulb thing back here. I have no idea what it's supposed to be, but it looks really, really cool. Just all the way around. The only thing that's bringing this down is its lack of dry brushing or any type of paint applications. Oop. Like, that is a work of art. Anyways, like I said earlier, it fits snugly into Wheeljack's hand. To get it into his hand, you just hold his arm up and press down on it. Fun! Or, if you don't want it in his hand, you can take... Oh, Jesus Christ. Maybe it fits too tightly into his hand. You could just turn the figure around, and you can take either post on it, this one here on the side or this one here for the handle, and just stick it into this hole on his back. You just stick it right in there, and it holds fairly well. I mean, you can knock it out just by pushing on it, but it takes a little bit of force. But yeah, awesome looking gun. So, gonna get him into vehicle mode and continue from there. And here he is in his vehicle mode, which is a sick looking alien race car type vehicle. I don't know what it's supposed to be, and I don't know what it's supposed to look like, and I don't know what he originally was in the original series, so sue me. Nice little sculpted in detail, got panel lines going around the sides and around the front to make a hood. If you look closely here in the headlight, you got some more panel lining, and we got some down here as well on this little intake swoop. I think that's what it is. I don't know cars, sue me. Overall, nicely sculpted detail, and then back here, where his arms are, you got some more nicely sculpted detail, more panels up here. So you do have this little piece up here that you can choose to flip out in vehicle mode, and I actually like that a little better. It's got this little auto brand on the top of it. Brings a little more character to this already awesome looking car. So you can choose to have that folded back like it's supposed to be in vehicle mode, or there we go, have it back out. Leaves a little hole in the top of the car, but that's whatever. So, getting past everything, the paintwork still really holds up in vehicle mode. It's nice and clean, clear Autobot symbol, nice crisp line work, nice green panel paint, going up the side of the car. And overall, just an awesome, sweet looking car. If you look at this from the front, leaving out the seam from where the feet join together, and the gap from where the windscreen meets at the feet, you could hardly tell that this transforms. It's when you get around to the side, you see the gaps between the door panels, and definitely around the back where you can see his arms folded up, and underneath where you can see his feet tilted forward and legs folded up. Hell, if you just pull it out and boom, there you go. There you have his head now. Put that back together. So you do have weapon storage in this mode. You take the gun in this peg right here, and you just plug it into the port on the arm. There we go. And, I mean, it's not my favorite look. I don't like it when they just slap guns onto the top of vehicle modes and call it weapon storage. That's not weapon storage to me. Weapon storage means that it's hidden away nicely. But, I mean, it's weapon storage. It'll do. It'll work. Taking that back off. So, I'm gonna set him to the side here and bring in a couple of other things for size comparison. Here he is next to his wavemate Ratchet, which, honestly, I think these two scale together pretty nicely. I mean, they're both fantasy, space fantasy sci-fi vehicles. Who's to say a space race car isn't the same size as a space ambulance or whatever, you know? And then taking him out and putting it next to whatever the hell this is. That's lovely. Sticking him next to whatever the hell this is. This is Studio Series number 83 Soundwave. I have no idea what he's supposed to be. And I don't think anybody knows what he's supposed to be. We'll get into him when we get into him. Alright, here he is next to Studio Series B127. Nice little side-by-side here. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't just take the Bumblebee mode and give it model and give it Wheeljack colors. I'm surprised they actually gave it its own separate mode. And then finally, it's not from the Bumblebee movie, but it's fairly close. You got Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. And here he is compared to him. Just overall, what they look like together. Alright, we're going to get him back into his robot mode and go into my final thoughts. So, what are my final thoughts on this figure? I love it. The short, stocky proportions, excellent sculpted detail, and excellent paintwork makes for an overall awesome action figure. And then throw in the fact that it can transform into an awesome-looking alien race car, which has a windshield and a door handle for some reason. I don't know. It just does. Look. You can find it. If you're a Wheeljack fan, you definitely owe it to yourself to get this figure. All of that aside, my name's Envy. Make sure to like and comment down below and subscribe to the channel. I just realized after filming my final remarks on the figure that I forgot to do size comparisons for the robot mode. Get his gun out of his hand real quick and into a neutral pose. So here is Wheeljack with Studio Series number 82 Ratchet. They look really good together. Get them both lined up properly. Yeah. Here he is with Studio Series number 83 Soundwave, which doesn't even fit into the full frame of my camera. Actually get them lined up as well. I'll get better at that as time goes on. Here he is with the Studio Series Deluxe Class B127. Don't remember the wave or wave number this came from. About the same size. And this is why I'm selling you. B127. Yeah, you gotta... Hold on. Fix his feet. And here he is next to the Studio Series Deluxe Class B127 from the beginning of... God dang thing. Will you just stand, please? Just stand. Please, stand. Just stand there, look pretty. And here he is next to the Studio Series B127 from the beginning of Bumblebee. They're about the same height. And then finally, here he is next to the Transformers Generations Voyager, I think, Voyager class? War for Cybertron. Oh, is that fully transformed? Yes, it is. And here he is next to the Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. If I can get him to stand up. Nope. And here he is next to the Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. Don't know if he is a deluxe class figure as well, or if I can get him to stand. Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh, maybe that's why. And here he is next to the Transformers Generations. What now? God. Okay, final take. And here he is next to the Transformers Generations Voyager class War for Cybertron Optimus Prime, which I think looks great with this figure. So, yeah, just remember, like, comment down below, subscribe, turn the notification bell on if you want to see more similar content to this, and stay classy, everybody. Thanks for watching my first video.